So, yeah. This is Gettin Vishy with it. I'm Owen. He already read the introduction, so I guess anyone want to raise their hands? Anyone else follow a fellow first-time CarolinaCon? Anyone in the 2005? No, you weren't. You liar. No? I know Vic was, but so whose first CarolinaCon is this? Quite a good number of people. You having a good time? Yeah. If you're, I really enjoy coming here. It's a great con. Lots of good people. I can really only remember how many I've been to by the number of badges, but I swear I've lost some badges somewhere. I guess that means I did it right. I had a good time. If you're not enjoying yourself, you might be doing it wrong. But you got these badges to play with this time, so these are awesome. As I said, I'm Owen. If you want to talk to me, I'd appreciate it. But I talk funny because I'm from England, like you said. And if you can't hear me at any point or the mic cuts out, just tell me, yell, and I'll try and fix it or speak English for you. So as the title comes from Will Smith's Getting Jiggy With It, I kind of put that on there because I like Will Smith, why not? This is one of his quotes. It's, there's no reason to have a plan B because it distracts from plan A. So my plan B is, there's a bunch of blue sippy cups up here if anyone wants to come and get a rum and coke. Or, yeah, it's Kraken and Coke, and then there's lemon, rum, and Coke. You should definitely grab one. There's only 50 cups, so don't all rush up at once. This is going to take a few minutes. You need an assembly line for it. So. I was going to get Captain Morgan's lime bite because my so-called friends call me a limey sometimes. So I was going to make them all drink lime and Coke, limey Cokes, but lemon's good enough because the bottle was twice the size. Yes, everybody who is 21. That's why I had somebody else serve it. It's not me. Yeah, one of those. And if you're on the internet watching the video, you can fast forward, I assume it's 2016. So I was going to have them pause it so that you didn't have to watch this nonsense, but we can get partying. So I'm not going to read my bio because you already did it and everything, but like I did development, moved into security pretty much. Since the first CarolinaCon, I've had 2 kids. That is one of my children with a telephone. Yeah, I really got into VoIP. I've always been interested and did stuff with it, like for a long time. But I really got interested in the security of it about 1.5 years ago, probably. So I don't like long walks on the beach. I actually ride my bike, and I'll try. And then when I fall off, I generally drink beer. So I don't like the word cyber, because if you're on the internet before the year 2000, that means something completely different. But it is what it is. So what is this actually about then? If you're here by accident or something, we're going to talk about fishing and a tool I wrote. So you can do some cool stuff with it, but we see after I saw Patrick's presentation, how many years ago was that? 2 years ago? 2 years ago he did a presentation on phone fraud, and I got really interested in people abused it and kind of worked with him on some stuff, and that's what we're going to be talking about. So, title is Fishing, Smishing, and Farming. I'm going to butcher this. I'm going to interchange these words. Definitely going to mess them up. But fishing is what we're going to cover first. So everybody generally knows what fishing is. You're sending out emails or somebody sending out emails, those junk emails you get, everybody knows what that is. If you don't know what phishing is, you can raise your hand and we can go into more depth. But when you ask people, they say, what are you talking about? You say phishing. I had somebody say, oh, you mean phishing? I said, no, I mean phishing. And they're like, what's phishing? So according to Google, it is the act of using a telephone in an attempt to scam a user into surrendering private information that will be used for identity theft. The scammer usually pretends to be of a legitimate business and fools the victim into thinking he or she will profit. That's a pretty good definition, right? I like that. Wikipedia's is slightly more in detail. They say it's a criminal practice, which pretty much if you're doing it illegally for illegal reasons, then yeah, it's a criminal practice. It goes on to mention that you're using social engineering, which, yeah, you could be, and gain access to private and personal financial information, sometimes referred to as phishing. So, it says some fraudsters use voice over IP. I don't know. I think pretty much the majority probably are using them now, since hard lines are going to be pretty easier to track. So, and it says some people use IVRs, which we'll get into. But all in all, what it boils down to is it's fraud, right? People are using information gathering, scams, ID theft. It's just all fraud. So, smishing and farming, you're taking the same concepts for smishing, except it's SMS messages, or you could be doing the MMS messages. And then farming is a new term I hadn't heard of until I read one of those articles that had all those terms in, and it's, I guess, installing malware on people's machines and creating your farm. It's kind of lame, silly terms. Everything has to have a term. So let's see. Recently I heard of whaling too, which apparently it's you're targeting one person out of a crowd or something. I was like, oh, that's kind of stupid. Stupid term. Say what? High profile. You're right. You're trying to get your big prize, is what it said. So. The really big fish, yeah. So that's cool. Everything has to have a term, but we'll look at some statistics here. So this goes back, it's an image graph, what's that, 2007, before 2007 it kind of peaked. And it looks like the stock market ticker. It's not really a whole, it's like, what, 8 times higher when they got the started. And then it kind of peaks up and down. So the next, well, almost 10 years ago, it's been a steady decline. Vishing versus phishing. So everybody seems to, or phishing, like I'm messing up already, there's a lot more search volume for it. People know what it is, I guess, from the news outlets and stuff. And phishing is barely a blip on that line. You can barely even see it. It's almost straight down the bottom. So I thought, well, maybe the problem is that, people aren't using the term phishing. So I put in phone fraud versus phishing. And that looks slightly better. That's the problem. I'm just using a nerdy term. But then when you stack it up back with phishing again, the bar is just astronomically higher. That's not the case. So, regional interest. This is all Google's trends. There's 3 areas of interest. There's India, United Kingdom, and United States, interestingly. I didn't see Nigeria on there or anything. Guy Man country, 419. Nope. Not on there, which is interesting. Maybe they use a different language, or I don't know. Maybe they just search for a different term. And then these are cities. So London, New Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore. You've got, what, 150... I don't know why this is the search volume for that term, so I don't know. So this is the regional interest in India. It's I don't even know how to say that. So Maharashtra. Okay. So anyone know what city is there? I gave it away in the earlier slide, if you can even read them, which is Mumbai or Bombay, formerly known as Bombay. In the United States, we've got only 3, Virginia, Texas, and California for some reason. I'm surprised North Carolina doesn't show up on there, because I'm Googling it every day, yeah. So, and for England, obviously, there's 100% was coming from London, which is weird, but yeah. So your vishing schemes is pretty much the same as your phishing schemes. You've got your malware tech support, which is everybody's heard of this, right? You get a phone call and someone wants to fix your computer for you. ID, theft, fraud, banking, rewards cards, focus, all of those. The interesting ones is the jury duty. You've been selected for jury duty. Please give me your social so I can verify. Except they would say it in an American accent. Hopefully, maybe not. Calling cards, people trying to get cards to make phone calls with. The collect calls would be like the prison system. So you received an invoice, or you could have received an invoice from an inmate, but yeah, you've received a call from an inmate and we want you to go ahead and put your credit card in, so you should do that so you can talk to this inmate. Which, there's endless schemes. The free home security system one, that's a big one. It's like, we're installing free home security systems in your area. And then if you actually talk to the people, I got 2 of those calls today. I was hoping they'd call back in this talk, but I don't think they're going to. But yeah, they're like, we're doing it in your area. And it's like, okay, where do you live? I was like, well, you said you were doing it in my area. You should know where I live, right? But they don't. So they would just want me to go ahead and send 3 months of utility bills and a credit card, give me my name and everything. Nothing can go wrong there. That's cool, right? For a free security system. So, and it may be legitimate, but I look at pretty much everything telephone-wise as a phishing scheme. And this is a bonus. It's tax season's coming up, and actually I've been seeing lots of people prepare for it. This image was from Nextdoor, which is one of those community things. And someone, actually this was in my neighborhood or area, that said, hey, be aware, IRS is coming. And then people just comment on that, saying, oh, I got one of those calls. So other applications that we can use this for as testers, we can use it for token gathering, one-time passes, two-factor authentication. There's some of those schemes that are out there in the wild for, like, if somebody requests or resets your Google password, then they may do the smish to try and get that token from you in some manner. And then conferencing services, there's some ways, and you should look at, if you're interested, watch Patrick's presentation on fraud for stuff you could do with the conferencing services. Oh, man, we're only 13 minutes in. That alcohol went quick too. That was my plan B. We're going to be done way quicker. So how do they do it? On the technical, I was trying to do one of those two circle graphs where it overlaps, but I couldn't make it work, so I just put it on the non-technical side. You know, they're going to try and do their research, hopefully. They do OSINT and information gathering, work with advertising agencies that have all information about you, or they just do it by volume, just dial a bunch of people, and, you know, there's plenty of fish in the sea, let's hope that we get someone. On the technical side, they're probably going to spoof the caller ID, maybe not. They're going to obviously call and maybe compromise someone's PBX to make the calls. So how does, as testers, how would you go about testing or phishing? You can use the same methods as bad guys. You want to research your target and know what the goal is. You're going to make a call. And since you're legitimately testing, if you were, you could register a CNAME for what shows up on the caller ID, so you can hopefully try and fool somebody without spoofing, or you can spoof your caller ID if you're not creating harm, unless they change that legislation. They haven't changed it, so that's great. You can just, because there was talk at one point that they were going to change it and make it nobody can spoof caller IDs, which would be bad for a lot of voice systems because they all spoof caller ID. So I wrote a tool, after last year, called Freak Me, my attempt at creating something useful, and basically just trying to create a platform that people can use to lower the bar for testing phishing schemes, and make it easier to use, make it easy to set up, and do your targets and campaigns reporting, that kind of stuff. So me and Patrick did phony business in 2015, and then we expanded on the idea and talked at DEF CON about it. And then we did Derby on the Phony Pony, and we're here. So Phony Business was a mashup of our backgrounds. I don't know how many people were here. We did insecurities with SIP, stack, and stuff. Got the idea while sitting at a bar. We were just actually spoofing caller IDs, see what would come up. Just, what if I spoof my caller ID and it says voicemail? So that was pretty cool. And then Sorry Wrong Number was kind of freaking background, and I developed an IVR where you could dial into it and do some of this stuff. Phony Pony, we expand on it. So today, there's not much updates since there, but you can use Freak Me to, which is a play on words. I don't know if you figured out. It's not really freaking, but it was a catchy name. I liked it. So you learn from it, install it, learn how phone systems work. You can do your testing if you're authorized to do that. You can test your offenses, your defenses. You can potentially test your clients if they will let you, maybe. Or you can, worst case scenario, use it for pranking your friends. As long as you don't intend to harm them. Right? So it's actually pretty simple. At the core of this, I put Freak Me there, but it's really just a Linux box. It's Debian. And asterisk is number 1 there. It's the biggest dependency. 2 is the REST interface, which I wrote. It's not using asterisk REST interface at the moment, but I do plan on changing that. I actually wrote another REST interface to, for some reason, I don't know why. I guess I didn't Google asterisk REST interface while I was building it, and I didn't know it exists, so I just wrote my own, which was really stupid. But there, it handles the talking between like the clients and asterisk. It makes it a lot easier to use. It uses a Slim framework in PHP. All of the clients use the REST interface, so, except for the dial-in interface, because reasons. So updates, and as of, I didn't want to make the same mistake Dave had made and say I put something on GitHub, and when I just drank a bunch of alcohol, which I haven't done today. But the source code is in on GitHub. It's just github/freakme. You can grab it and download a Vagrant VM. So Vagrant just pretty much makes it easy to provision machines. Or you can install Debian and run the script from there. And the biggest update for this one is a web interface. So, well, only 20 minutes in. So it's kind of driven by interest. I haven't done much with it recently because just kind of lost interest myself. And yeah, I've been really busy and lots of other people have been busy. But plan on starting working on it again. So we got some demos. I was going to do live demos, but then I thought, no, that's a really bad idea. I don't want to sacrifice any. I haven't got any internet that works reliably either. So let's see what we've got. I cleaned up my desktop for you guys. Which one first? We'll do the setup box. So this is, and now if I recall, which way do I have to drag this? I guess I have to open it first. So you can't see this. I can. Is it that way? Is it that way? Woohoo! Now how do you full screen it? No, that's AV delay. Oh no, I lost my controls. Okay, so this is how easy it is to install Vagrant up. I didn't actually make you wait and watch it download all of the dependencies for it. So this part right here, I just catted the welcome file instead of making you sit for 5 minutes, or I think it was like 10 minutes at one point because my internet was so slow. But that's what you'll be presented with once it's installed everything and you've picked an interface. All you need to do to get it running is download VirtualBox and get the source code from GitHub and then run Vagrant up. Oh, you'd have to install Vagrant too. And it runs on Linux. It's supposed to run on Windows, Vagrant is, but it just doesn't work with the way I have it set up at the moment. But it does run on OS X too. So if you have Windows, install Ubuntu on it or something and go from there. But you can't do it in a VM since Vagrant's using a VM. It doesn't like VMs in VMs. So once you've SSH'd in, logged in. You run that file. I've already done it on this one, so it doesn't take quite as long. It's going to tell you all kinds of error messages if you've already done it, but there's my the IP that was assigned, and so it's up and running. You can use it. Once you've gone in and set up your asterisk trunk, which there will be documentation on how to do that. What's the next? My mouse is lost. Come here, mousey, mousey. There it is. Caller ID spoofing. We've kind of seen caller ID spoofing through other. It's not difficult to do, and that's why does it always go to this monitor? Nope. It's already playing, isn't it? Yeah. Pause. So I found a good way to find caller IDs. You can spoof is to just use yellow pages and search for something until you find one, and then dial yourself. And this is one I found. So this is great for pranks. You pull that in. This is a call to the REST API just through the local host. And that's my burner number. It's upstairs. And that made a call with the caller ID. We can actually, I'm not in presenter view anymore. Where are my slides? There we go. So that was the setup box we already did done. So that's the REST call that's made. And that's what it looks like when you get a call. That was a really cool caller ID, but there's more fun ones out there. So you can call your friends. And I don't know what that business actually is, the jerk spot. I mean, it sounds kind of weird. I haven't called it. It could be Jerky Outlet, or it could be like Caribbean sauce. I really don't know. It could be something. It could be. Yes, I won't. Gonna. So the client is another demo. I didn't write this, so I take no credit for it. Let's see. Don't put it on this screen. Man. Full screen. Double click. Let's see. So yeah, Patrick actually wrote this. So I have no idea what's in this demo. I know we've done it before. But okay, no. So once you've installed it into the Social Engineer Toolkit as a third-party module, you have to drop it in the directory. It pretty much works the same way as any other module in the Social Engineer Toolkit. You configure it, and it goes, and you select your targets, list your targets, add your targets, and choose a recording. So I guess it would be better with audio. So let's see. I don't know. How long is this demo? It's not long. But yeah, so this one was for Derby. We spoofed the caller ID that said disco, and then once you use exploit, it's really dial. We'll dial that person and play a recording and wait for them to enter their digits. I guess that's kind of the whole point of this at the moment, to collect pins. Where are we in this? So once they've answered the phone call, you can go and do your reporting and wait for it, and wait for them to dial, or you to dial the digits, and then you will see those in the report. I think I just answered and entered 5 ones, 4 ones, 5 ones. And then I think it goes to the reporting. Is it there? And you'll see it's in there somewhere. All the other phone numbers he's called. There's a lot of us testing it. That's what that is. Let's see. Man, you guys are quiet. Rum and Coke. That calmed everybody down. I thought it would make everybody happy. So the web client, that's, you kind of got a sneak peek at that. That is new as of Monday. I needed something to do, and I was originally going to work on multi-step prompts. So when you get a call, it would, say it was saying, please enter your password. I was going to say, that is the wrong password. Please enter it again. But that was not enough time to do it, even though I had plenty of time. I should have reallocated my time. I had other stuff going on. Let's see, the web interface. Man, why is it opening QuickTime? Yeah, I know. All right. So this is the web interface, and as you'll see, it is HTML 4.01 compliant. It is the best interface I've ever written. So you got your home, setup, exploit, and reporting. This makes it so much easier. I don't know why I ever didn't do this to begin with. I don't know. But you can set your caller ID up, you can choose your recording, and this makes it so much easier because eventually you're going to be able to play your recordings and possibly even record your recordings on a web interface. Go figure. And then push it to the server. Set up your targets. And this is all JavaScript. There is no, even though it's PHP, it's all JavaScript. There's the caller ID. You can dial a single target, or you can dial all of the targets at once. The JavaScript delay doesn't work very well. I couldn't get it working. It was disappointing, so I figured I'd leave it in there, but it just doesn't work. And then there's a report. There's one of the digits that were, I can't actually click that because it's a video. But that's it. That's the update for the web interface. So that's fun. Whoa. So there is a roadmap. Look at this. I made a roadmap. I feel proud of myself. Let's say a mind map, FreeMind. I can't see it here, but it would be helpful if I could. Come on. I don't know how to use computers, but I'm not gonna. Yeah, but then you won't be able to hear me. I can pull it up. Give me my mouse. Okay. Okay. Or I can click this and hope it works. What happened? Didn't work. Did it work? Did it work? Did it work yet? I don't know how to use Macs. Why is it doing that? Technical issues.
If you look on the back of your program, there's a Dingo card, and there's one of the Dingo slots is demo failed, so.
I know, this isn't even a demo, this is just the presentation. There we go. It's not a demo, so sorry. So, yeah, there's some more rum and coke over there. No, the core is where most of the updates are going to be. I'm not going to read every single one of those out. Deployments, actually 2 of those are done. I do want to do proper permissions for it, though the box as it stands is super insecure because I just chmodded everything for 777 to get the demos working. No, it's a Vagrant machine. It's for development. It's never intended to be put in a production environment. Do what you will with it. Don't try and certify it. The web client, obviously that needs a proper interface. That HTML 4.01 is not acceptable. All of the new features will go into set, and then the IVR. If I even decide to keep it, will be ported to use REST. It doesn't make sense to maintain 3 different chunks of code. The multi-step prompts is probably the biggest one. Then the second biggest thing to include in there is bridging audio so that you can kind of patch people in so you can actually start doing, just as real scammers do, you could collect the digits with a system, the automated prompt, and then say transfer it to a representative and then verify the information. But that might be difficult. I don't know yet. I've used a database instead of flat files because everything's done in flat files. That would probably be a good thing to do. I mean, it's rapid application development. We did this super quick. So, defending against phishing, the biggest one's probably your awareness and education, making people aware of what it is, or just not answering phone calls. That's a good one too. No, somebody else said today, he's in here somewhere, said, oh, that's why I don't accept calls from any number I don't know, and if they didn't leave a voicemail. I was like, yeah, that's actually a pretty good idea. Testing, that's probably a good way to defend against something, is if you actually test to see what happens. Verification validation is one I came into recently where, so I had to do something and it was kind of sensitive. So what they do on the website was they give you, say, we will not contact you unless you have this phrase, or they will say this phrase. And if you don't hear that, then you're not speaking to one of our people. I was like, oh, that's actually a great way of doing it. But then I think you can actually choose your own passphrase. So I was like, oh man, that would be so much fun to have an agency say something. I don't know, you could get them to say some fun stuff. So I didn't, because I didn't want to mess with them people. But there's other ways you could. So if anyone's heard of Lenny, this is a great project. Do we have audio? Because it would be more fun with audio. You don't even have a. You don't have a jack that I can plug in? There's one. Should have done that at the beginning. There was one up here. I don't know if it's hot over there. Oh, there is no AV guy. Yes. I'm just sticking in my tongue. Yeah, that's a good idea. We got this. Thanks, tech support.
Hello, this is Lenny.
It works.
Hello, can I speak to...
Sorry,
So it's a bot.
I can barely hear you there.
Okay, well, sir, I'm calling you from online technical department, and this call is about your computer.
Yes.
Hello? Well, we're receiving some reports about your computer on your mailing.
So that goes on forever, and it's a recording that's just actually not so long back. He's made it so you can't forward your calls to it anymore because people were just forwarding everybody to it. It's a shame because it's really cool. But if you want, if you're on Reddit and you go to, I think /r Lenny maybe, or it's Lenny, you can request, and if you have a phone set up, you can forward people to it. Let me open this one. That's a cool way to defend against phishing.
Hello,
It's just send
this is Lenny.
send them to that. Here's another one.
Hello, Lenny.
What does that even say?
Sorry, I can barely hear you there.
Continue.
Whatever it is.
2 minutes and
Oh,
40
that's
seconds
good.
in.
Well,
So this one was really fun.
here's the thing, because the last time that someone called up and spoke with me...
Yeah, it's crazy.
Can you hear him?
the people here because I went...
So it's Comcast, apparently.
I probably shouldn't be telling you that, but...
This is crazy. I want to track this call, man.
My eldest, Rachel,
So that's the tech support agent. What's he say?
for a week now,
Can't.
Incorporate. I'm about to get these bastards, man. You guys had jokes. I'm
Oh,
calling
that's so
back.
funny. I'm
they're
calling
more
back.
important than...
I don't know if that's actually Comcast or not, but they have some top-notch tech support if it was. Let's see. So that's actually all I have. I expected it to take a lot longer than that. I'm only, 35 minutes in. So yeah. So do we have any questions or answers for me? No? Blue? Answer. The answer for everything. So no, seriously, is there any questions or answers? One. Oh, this guy. Hey. Right, there's a SIP trunk to your SIP provider. The question was, how do you access the phone network? So yeah, what you do is, so since that's just at the core, you set that up just as you would set it up anywhere else. Is there any more questions? We got plenty of time. Favorite phishing scheme I've heard or encountered? I don't have a favorite. I think they're all terrible. They're just all so bad. The most technical would be the password reset, second or two-factor auth one, because that's not just somebody trying to sell something. I think I saw another hand way at the back. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. So let's see, is there any more slides? Oh yeah, there's help wanted if anyone wants to do any of this fun stuff. Ideas, enhancements, anyone wants to do some development, learn about it. Web interfaces in PHP, REST APIs in PHP, sets in Python. It's kind of something for everybody. If somebody wants to do some cool graphics or videos, I don't know, whatever you want to do, I'm open to people helping. So, yep. GitHub.com. No, it's github.com/freakme. And I should have been. Is that it? Yeah, it's okay. I forgive you. That's it. There's a bunch of references and links. Actually, where is it? One of them is really good, like a resource to give to people if they're interested or want to know what they can do if they fell victim to some of these scams. So I think it's the FTC's one. It's in there somewhere. So that's it. Oh.